Listen to me carefully. Life isn't fair. People will try to push you around, undermine you, and make you feel small. And most of the time, they do it because you let them. They test your boundaries, they probe your weakness, and they smile when you shrink. But here's the brutal truth. Nobody is going to hand you respect. Nobody is going to value you the way you deserve, unless you decide to make it happen yourself. That's why today I'm telling you, your worth, your rules. Life works like this. If you don't set the terms, someone else will. If you don't define your standards, the world will define them for you. And usually, those standards are way lower than what you're capable of. You are the one in charge of how people treat you. You are the one who decides what is acceptable. And anyone who thinks they can cross that line without consequences is about to learn a hard lesson. Here's the first truth. Respect is not given, it's commanded. Stop asking for it. Stop hoping for it. Stop waiting for someone to notice your value. They won't. They never will. The second truth, your time, your energy, your mind, and your presence are precious. You don't hand that over to anyone who doesn't deserve it. And the third truth, weakness is the invitation for exploitation. You show weakness, people will exploit it. You show strength, people will either respect it or get out of your way. Now, let me give you a hook here. People will hate you for asserting yourself. They'll call you arrogant. They'll say you're selfish. Let them. Because nothing in this world moves forward without people who are willing to take control of their life. Let me be very clear. Living by your rules doesn't make you cruel. It makes you unstoppable. Every time you compromise your worth for approval, you shrink. Every time you bend to someone else's expectations, you lose a piece of yourself. And that, my friend, is not negotiation. That is surrender. So what does this look like in real life? It looks like saying no when you mean no. It looks like walking away from situations, people, or opportunities that undervalue you. It looks like being unapologetic about your standards, your goals, and your ambitions. And it looks like having the courage to stand alone if that's what it takes to preserve your power. Because when you finally accept that your worth is non-negotiable, everything changes. People start noticing. Doors start opening. And opportunities appear that you didn't even know existed. Listen to me closely, because this is the foundation of everything in your life. If you don't respect yourself, nobody else will. It's that simple. People are constantly testing limits, probing weaknesses, and pushing boundaries, and the moment they sense a lack of self-respect, they'll exploit it. You ever notice how some people seem to get walked all over while others demand attention the second they enter a room? That's not luck. That's self-respect. That's knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone tell you otherwise. And here's the kicker. Self-respect doesn't come from compliments. It doesn't come from social media likes. It doesn't even come from your accomplishments. It comes from the choices you make every single day and the energy you project. When you respect yourself, you create a presence that people cannot ignore. It's magnetic, it's commanding, and it's absolute. Weak people hope others will respect them. Strong people make others respect them without saying a word. That's why you've got to start looking at yourself in the mirror and understanding that nobody owes you anything. Nobody has to see your value. Nobody has to treat you like gold. If you want respect, you have to earn it. And the first step is earning it from yourself. The moment you accept mediocrity, tolerate bad behavior, or let people undermine you, you're sending a message. You don't respect yourself. The world, it listens. People feel your energy before they even hear your words. If you walk into a room with the attitude that you're small, that your time is disposable, or that your boundaries don't matter, people will treat you exactly like that. But if you walk in with the energy of someone who knows exactly what they're worth, someone who will not compromise for anyone or anything, the dynamic changes instantly. You command attention. You set the tone. You are no longer negotiable. Here's a truth most people will never admit. Self-respect is not convenient, it's not comfortable, and it's not easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires saying no when every part of you wants to say yes just to please someone else. It requires walking away from people, opportunities, and situations that undervalue you. And let me drop a hook here for you. Most people never reach this level because they are addicted to approval. They are desperate for recognition, desperate to fit in, desperate to be liked. That desperation is weakness. It screams, "I am disposable," louder than anything else ever could. But when you respect respect yourself first, all that noise disappears. You stop caring who approves, who judges, or who doubts. You know your value, and the world adjusts to that reality. Another thing people need to understand is that self-respect is visible. It's not some abstract idea you keep to yourself. It's in your posture, your voice, your actions, the way you refuse to tolerate nonsense. People can sense it a mile away, and they respond accordingly. When you respect yourself, you automatically repel toxic energy. People who don't value you won't stick around, and those who do will elevate you. That's how powerful it is. And here's the biggest hook for you. Respecting yourself is the ultimate power move, because the second you place your value above anyone else's opinion, you become untouchable. No one can disrespect you, manipulate you, or diminish you without your permission. That's a mindset most people will never achieve, and it's what separates the winners from the rest. So don't wait for someone else to see your worth. Don't wait for life to treat you better. Don't wait for recognition. Start with you. Respect yourself first. Demand excellence from yourself. Protect your time, your energy, and your standards. And watch how the world begins to follow. Respect is not given. It is commanded, and it starts with you. Listen to me very carefully, because this is where most people fail in life. They let others dictate how they feel, what they do, and how far they go. They don't have boundaries, and because of that, their energy is constantly drained, their time wasted, and their self-respect chipped away piece by piece. Setting boundaries isn't just a skill, it's a power move. It's the difference between a person who is walked over and a person who commands respect the moment they enter a room. And here's the first hook you need to understand. People will test you every single day. Your family, your friends, colleagues, even strangers, they will all push limits to see what they can get from you. And if you haven't defined your line, if you haven't made it crystal clear what is acceptable and what isn't, they will take whatever they want. Your time, your energy, your patience, your kindness, gone. Boundaries are not suggestions, they are rules. And the world only respects rules that are enforced. Weak people have flexible boundaries. Strong people have boundaries so sharp that crossing them feels like walking into a wall. The difference is unmistakable. And let me hit you with a hook here. You don't set boundaries to hurt people. You set them to protect yourself. Every time you allow someone to overstep, you teach them how far they can go. Every time you tolerate behavior that disrespects you, you teach them that your rules are optional. And that is a trap most people never wake up from. The truth is, setting boundaries is uncomfortable. People will resist. They will push back. They will try to guilt trip you, manipulate you, and make you feel selfish. But here's the brutal reality. If someone can guilt you for protecting your peace, they were never supposed to be in your world in the first place. Boundaries are not about anger. They are about clarity. They are about stating without hesitation that your time, your energy, your mind, and your body are valuable and non-negotiable. Another hook for you. Boundaries are invisible shields. You can walk into a room, say nothing, but your presence communicates a line that cannot be crossed. People sense it. They feel it. And the ones who don't respect it, they simply get removed. Because if you're serious about winning, you don't have time for people who don't see your value. And this is where most people fail. They confuse boundaries with arrogance. They think that saying no or walking away is rude. No, it's powerful. Saying no is showing the world that your energy is precious and cannot be wasted on anything less than extraordinary. Walking away is showing that you refuse to tolerate mediocrity in the people and situations that surround you. That, my friend, is dominance. That is control. That is freedom. And here's the biggest hook of all. Once you set boundaries, your life changes. People start treating you differently. Your energy stops being drained. You no longer carry the weight of other people's expectations, and the world starts bending toward you, because energy respects energy. Weak energy invites chaos. Strong energy demands order. Strong energy sets rules and enforces them. Strong energy creates a life where respect is not optional, it is inevitable. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's necessary. It's the declaration that your life is yours, your rules are yours, and anyone who wants a place in it has to meet your standards. And the moment you enforce that, everything changes. Your confidence skyrockets, your focus sharpens, and people finally realize that you are not here to be pushed around. You are here to command your life. Listen closely, because this is where most people sabotage themselves without even realizing it. They live their lives in search of approval, constantly looking over their shoulders to see if someone will validate them, compliment them, or give them permission to exist. And here's the first truth you need to understand. Approval is for the weak. If you are waiting for someone to tell you that you're good enough, that your choices are right, or that your life is worth something, you are giving your power away piece by piece. Let me hit you with a hook. People will always have opinions, and 90% of the time, those opinions are worthless. They are not rooted in truth. They are rooted in jealousy, ignorance, laziness, or fear. So why are you letting them decide how you feel about yourself? If you are constantly seeking approval, you are living in chains, and nobody can ever grow in chains. Freedom starts when you stop asking for permission to be yourself, when you stop waiting for a nod of acceptance, and when you realize that the only approval that matters is your own. Another brutal reality, seeking approval destroys ambition. When you are worried about what others think, you will never take the risks that winners take. You will hesitate when opportunities demand boldness. You will settle for mediocrity because the crowd told you it's safer. But winners don't ask for approval. They make decisions, take action, and create results. And the world eventually bends to acknowledge them, not the other way around. Let me give you a hook here. Approval is cheap, respect is expensive. And the only way to get the respect that actually matters is to stop begging for approval and start proving your value through action. People respect those who know their worth and act without hesitation. Weak people beg, strong people build. Weak people wait for a green light. Strong people create their own. Another thing you must understand is that seeking approval is addictive. You get a like, a compliment, a recognition, and it feels good, but it's temporary, fleeting, and meaningless. It's a hit of dopamine that tricks you into thinking you're doing something right. Real power doesn't come from temporary validation. Real power comes from confidence, competence, and unshakable self-belief. And here's a hook you need to feel in your bones. When you stop seeking approval, people start noticing something different. They see a presence that is unapologetic, decisive, and untouchable. They see someone who is not swayed by praise or criticism, someone who moves according to their own rules, and suddenly that person becomes magnetic. Approval may feel comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of greatness. Every time you rely on someone else's validation, you give them control over your emotions, your choices, and your destiny. The moment you break that habit, you take back control. You set your own standards. You define what is acceptable, what is worthwhile, and what is meaningful. That, my friend, is freedom. That is power. And let me hit you with the ultimate hook. Those who seek approval will always be one step behind. They will be followers, not leaders. They will be spectators, not creators. They will never taste the real rewards of life because they are too busy waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to exist. Stop asking for permission. Stop looking for validation. Stop letting others dictate how valuable you are. The only approval that matters is yours. And the moment you claim it, the entire world adjusts. You become unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable, and nothing, and I mean nothing, can stand in your way when you truly believe in your worth without asking for anyone else's permission. Listen to me, because this is where most people fail and never reach their full potential. Life is happening around you whether you take control or not. And the harsh truth is that nobody is going to hand you success, power, or freedom on a silver platter. Most people drift, they wait, they hope, they complain, and they blame everyone else for their failures. Let me hit you with a hook right now. If you're still waiting for life to treat you right, you've already lost. Winners don't wait, winners take. The moment you accept that you are the only one responsible for your life, the moment you stop blaming society, your upbringing, your boss, or the economy, is the moment you step into power. And here's another truth. Full control doesn't mean life will be easy. It doesn't mean you won't fail. It doesn't mean people won't resist or try to stop you. Taking control is about embracing responsibility, owning every decision, and accepting the consequences of every action. Weak people run from responsibility. Strong people chase it. And here's a hook you need to feel. It's the people who refuse to control their lives who end up living under the rules of everyone else. They follow orders, they obey expectations, and they settle for less than they're capable of. Strong people create the rules. They call the shots. They decide their path and enforce it without hesitation. Another thing most people fail to understand is that taking control is a mindset, not a plan. You can write all the goals, make all the schedules, and have all the strategies, but if your mind doesn't believe you are in control, none of it will work. Control starts here, in your head. You decide that nothing, and I mean nothing, can steer you off your course without your permission. Life is chaotic, but the strong don't let chaos control them, they control it. Let me hit you with another hook. When you take full control of your life, excuses become irrelevant. Complaints, whining, blaming, procrastination, all of it dies because you are no longer a victim. You are the driver, and your destiny is the road you choose to travel. And here's the truth. Most people avoid. They are addicted to comfort. They are addicted to letting someone else make decisions, even if it's slowly killing their dreams. They are addicted to thinking life owes them something. And that addiction is exactly what keeps them broke, stuck, and miserable. But the moment you decide to take control, you break that cycle. You take back the steering wheel and start accelerating toward your goals. Another hook. Taking control is not about controlling other people. It's about controlling your energy, your focus, your habits, and your time. The moment you master that, everything else falls into place. People, opportunities, resources, they respond to control. The world bows to those who refuse to be ruled by it. And here's the ultimate reality check. Every single successful person you admire, every millionaire, every champion, every unstoppable force in history, they all started by taking full responsibility for their lives. They stopped whining, they stopped blaming, they stopped waiting, and they took action with ruthless determination. You can do the same, but it requires one thing: total commitment to being the master of your life. No excuses, no apologies, no hesitation. Once you understand this, fear loses its power, obstacles become challenges to crush, and every day becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are in charge, that you are unstoppable, and that you will never let anyone else dictate the course of your life. When you take control, you don't just live, you dominate. Listen to me closely, because this is a lesson most people never learn, and it's the reason so many lives are filled with stress, frustration, and disappointment. Toxicity is everywhere. Friends who drain your energy, family who undermine your ambitions, colleagues who sabotage your progress, and even lovers who take more than they give. The harsh truth is that most people stay in toxic environments far too long, hoping that things will get better, hoping that people will change, and hoping that life will be easier. Let me hit you with a hook. Hope without action is weakness. The moment you tolerate toxicity, you are telling the world that your boundaries don't matter, that your peace is optional, and that your energy is disposable. Weak people stay. Strong people walk. Walking away is not giving up, it's winning before the fight begins. And here's the first reality you need to understand. People don't change for you. They don't wake up one day and suddenly start valuing you more, respecting you more, or supporting your growth simply because you wish it. That's a fairy tale. In real life, people only respect strength. They only follow leadership. They only support those who refuse to settle for anything less than excellence. And let me hit you with a hook you cannot ignore. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, manipulates you, or drains your energy, the problem is not them, it's you for allowing it. Weak people allow toxicity because they fear conflict, fear loneliness, or fear being judged. Strong people fear nothing because they know their value and refuse to compromise it for anyone. Another thing most people fail to realize: walking away is a power move. It's the ultimate declaration that your life, your energy, and your goals are more important than anyone else's opinion or approval. When you walk away from toxicity, you are not running, you are reclaiming control. You are drawing the line in the sand and refusing to allow anyone to step over it. Here's another hook. Walking away changes the dynamic instantly. People who once tried to manipulate you or control you suddenly realize that you are untouchable, that you are not a resource to exploit, and that your time is not theirs to waste. Toxicity thrives on access. Remove access, and it dies. And here's the brutal truth. Staying in toxic situations doesn't just hurt your mental state, it destroys your potential. It limits your focus, it drains your motivation, and it prevents you from achieving greatness. You cannot grow surrounded by energy that tells you that you are not enough. You cannot dominate in a world of people who expect you to stay small. Let me give you a hook here. Success demands ruthless prioritization of energy. You choose who, what, and where to invest yourself. Anyone who is not adding value, anyone who is lowering your standards, anyone who is toxic must be removed. Every minute you spend there is a minute stolen from your growth, your power, and your freedom. Another reality, walking away does not make you weak. It proves strength. Weak people fight to stay where they don't belong. Strong people leave, and the universe respects that strength. They walk into spaces that elevate them, surround themselves with people who challenge them, and refuse to allow energy suckers to dictate the quality of their life. And here's the ultimate hook. Every time you walk away from toxicity, you reclaim a piece of your power. You are saying without words that you control your life, your rules, and your worth. You are no longer negotiable, and that energy changes everything. People feel it, opportunities feel it, and even the universe responds to it. Walking away is not just an action, it is a declaration that you are done being small, done being manipulated, done being disrespected. When you finally master this, nothing can hold you back, and no toxic influence will ever have power over you again. Listen to me, because this is where most people fail and stay average for life. Respect is not given. Respect is earned, and the only way to earn it is through action. Words are cheap, compliments are cheap, promises are cheap. If you want people to truly respect you, you have to show them. And here's the first hook you need to feel. People respect results far more than excuses. Every time you talk about what you will do, but don't take action, you are building weakness into your reputation. Every time you promise greatness, but deliver mediocrity, people learn that your words are worthless. Winners act. They don't talk, they execute, they dominate. And here's the reality most people avoid. Action speaks louder than any speech, any title, or any degree. People feel energy. They sense commitment. They see discipline. And that is how respect is created. Let me hit you with a hook. When you consistently take action, you build an unshakable presence. People no longer question your value because it's visible in everything you do. Your consistency, your discipline, and your results become your voice, louder than anything you could say. And here's the truth that most people will never admit. People are naturally drawn to strength. Not arrogance, not noise, not bragging, but the calm, steady, unrelenting force of someone who delivers. When you act, when you produce, when you dominate your own life, respect becomes automatic. Weak people beg for attention. Strong people command it without a word. Another hook, action creates authority. If you want people to follow you, listen to you, or value you, stop talking about what you can do and start showing them what you have done. Results are undeniable. Excuses are invisible. People respect winners because they cannot ignore them, and they cannot ignore results. And let me make this very clear. Commanding respect is not about being aggressive, loud, or confrontational. That's fake respect, temporary respect, and people see through it immediately. True respect comes from demonstrating skill, discipline, and control in every area of your life. When you live by high standards and enforce them through action, you are no longer negotiable. People either step up to your level or they step aside. Another thing most people fail to grasp, action builds momentum and momentum builds power. Every small step you take consistently compounds into undeniable strength. People start noticing patterns. They start acknowledging effort. And before long, respect becomes inevitable because your life itself becomes a testament to your value. Here's the ultimate hook. People will try to test you, to undermine you, to see if your reputation is real. And the only way to pass that test is through action. If you have prepared, if you have delivered, if you have proven your worth through results, nothing can shake your presence. Weak people crumble. Strong people thrive. And here's the reality check that most avoid. No one will ever hand you respect.